good sir, as well. So let's dive right in. Important topic today. How do we fix your inconsistent income? Why is it that your business has these up and downs, your income? So first, an exercise. Please do this with me. Really do this. Grab a piece of paper. You're going to need a paper and a calculator, or use your smartphone. It has a calculator on it. But please do this. This is important. We need to take a pulse. We need to take a snapshot. In order for me to help you become really consistent in how many dollars you earn, how many listings you take, and how you provide financially, first we need to know where you are. All right? So please do this with me. Really, don't just listen. Don't be entertained by it. Write these things down. It's going to be really simple, but you're going to need a calculator. All right? You ready? Yeah? Let's do this. I want you to write down a number of dollars you wanted to earn. What was your goal for 2019, for this calendar year? Write down a number. Now, I'm just going to kind of make stuff up as I go to illustrate my point. So let's say my goal was, as a real estate agent, $250,000. Write down your goal. Write it down. Okay? Now, I want you to write down the actual number of dollars. How many dollars have you earned so far? Year to date, to this day. How many checks have you received, and what was the total amount of money you have received? Okay, write it down. So let's say year to date, I'm just going to do this for easy math. I'm going to write down $100,000. So you have two numbers now. Write it down. Lila says, I love that intro. I've never caught it before. Hey, Borino, good afternoon to you as well. Glad you like it. So your goal, what you've earned so far. Now, I want you to divide this number by 6. Divided by 6. Now, we're going to be a little optimistic. You'll see in just a moment where we're going with it. So I'm going to take 100,000, what you've earned so far, divided by 6. So I have 16,600, give or take. Okay? So take what you've earned so far, divided by 6. Now, the last thing I want you to do is multiply this by 12. So I'm going to multiply by 12. So I'm at 199,900. So here's what we did. This first number was your goal. This is your goal. This is what you're on target for, give or take. We're off by 2 weeks, but that doesn't make a huge difference. Now, I want you to compare this number. So you took what you've earned so far, divided by 6, multiplied by 12. That is your projected income. Now I have a question for you. How close are these? Be honest. How close is your goal from where you're targeting? This is what you're on track for. How close? Are you on track or are you off track? Where are you? Kind of interesting, isn't it? A little bit of a reality check. So we took what you've earned so far, what you actually received, money received, divided by 6, multiplied by 12. These are just my made-up numbers. Are you on track or are you off track? Give me some feedback. Give me some comments. Where are you? You need to know. You need to know right now. Not in December. It's way too late. So where are you? For those who are just joining us, we're doing a little exercise. Do this real quick. Grab a piece of paper and calculator. Please do this. Really do this. Don't just sit there and be entertained. Aisha is off track. Write down the number. What was your goal for 2019? What did you want to make in commissions? Then write down what you've earned so far. Money that came to you so far. Divide by 6, multiply by 12. That's your target. Now compare your target, what you're projecting, what you're on track for, compared to what you set as a goal. Today, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why the number is off, why these two don't match. Would that be time well spent? Yeah? Are you excited? Lila says way off. Vel, not even close. Adam, not even close. Aisha, off track. Most of you will be probably off track. And today, you'll get 5 reasons why. We'll discuss it why. But first, you need to know where you are. No screwing around, guys. Because I'd rather give you what's going on today. I'd rather fix it today than another 6 months. Because imagine come December and you go, oh shit, look at that. Didn't even come close. We can remedy it. It's going to take more work. It's going to be a little harder. But boy, is it going to be worth it. All right, so stay with me, please. Don't get distracted. Just do this with me. Now you know that you're off. We need to get you back on track. We need to figure out what will it take to get you back on track. So here's what we need to do. You need to know a third number. So we have, what was your goal? We have what you're on track for right now. We need to know what is the difference, what do you need to make between today and December to be back on track. What is that number? So let's just say, for sake of easy math, to get you back on track, you need to make 150,000. All right? This is the important part, guys, and it is painful. It is hard. It is numbers. It is accounting, but here's where it's important. It's binary. See, when you strip away the emotions, when you strip away the noise, the drunken monkey, you know, that little bastard that's confusing you in your head, when you take all of that away, what you're going to end up with is a math, and a very binary math, on track, off track, meeting my goals, not meeting my goals. We're not here to bash you. I'm not here to beat up over you. I'm not here to discourage you or to yell at you. Well, okay, I'm here to yell at you. But we need to troubleshoot. So what will it take? So let's say 150,000 to get back on track. You need to make 150 grand between today and the end of the year to get back on track. Now I want you to divide that number by your average commission. So again, for easy math, I'm just going to keep it simple. Let's say my average commission is $10,000. Okay, so I need to close 15 transactions to get back on track. What is your number? Divide your number needed by the number that you earn, your average commission, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, whatever it is. Now you have your target. Now this becomes your target. But here's the difference. This one, rock stars, is not negotiable. It must be non-negotiable. That means there is no alternative. Well, there is one, more. We'll take that. Okay? So now you know your new target. Now, before we get into why this is happening, I'm going to help you get back on track. But make this non-negotiable, whatever that is, 10, 15, 20, 30, whatever you have. All right? What do you say? Aisha, yes. Okay. How did you know this? Well, I've been at this for many years, Bill, and I've trained tens of thousands of agents. So trust me, if I tell you I've done this before, I know what you're going through. And the reason I know what you're going through is because I was there. Struggled. I had a good month and I had a shitty month. I made some money, got excited, spent most of it. And then I'm like, oh shit, IRS, that's right, taxes. Ah. Can you relate to that? Yeah? All right, so now we have the target. This becomes your obsession. You must be so focused, you must be so determined, you must be so unstoppable where you say this, non-negotiable. Boats burned, bridges burned. Option B, non-existent. Plan B, no. This is your new target. All right. Derek, okay, 80,000, good. So now you know, divide the 80,000 by your average commission. That's your new target. So now, why do you get inconsistent? Why is this happening? Why did you get in this mess? And how do we get you out of this mess? I'll give you 5 points. Reason number 1, you don't have a plan. No plan. That's number 1. So imagine you go on a road trip. You want to take your family on a road trip. You jump in a car. You say, yee, excited, we're going to Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls would be lovely to visit. You don't have any navigation, you don't have a map. What are the chances of you actually getting there? Unless you live within the area, you're screwed. You would never make it there. And yet you run your business that way. Be honest. Do you have a rudimentary, basic business plan in place? Just a basic roadmap. How do I get to my 15 transactions? How do I get to my 20 listings? How do I close my 25 transactions? Do you have a basic plan? In most cases, the answer is no. And the reason you don't have a basic plan, we'll get to. But be honest, do you have a roadmap? Do you know what it takes to get there? Be honest. Probably not, right? I'm not saying it's sexy, I'm not saying it's entertaining, I'm not saying it is fun to come up with business plans because it holds you accountable, it's tedious, you need to do the math and all that, things I don't like and probably many of you don't. But it is also essential. You need a roadmap, you need some kind of navigation, a map, a blueprint. So, I will give you some homework. Number 2 reason you don't know how to get there, which is part of it. Why you are not making money or you're inconsistent. The number 1, no lead generation system. So let me add that to it. You don't have a lead generation system. So number 1 reason is no plan. Number 2 is no lead generation system. You don't have a system in place because 50% of your success depends on your ability to generate leads. Do you agree with that? Half of your success depends on your ability to get motivated buyers and sellers, to have a system in place that either attracts them or you go out there and get them. It's either active prospecting or passive lead generation like advertising that brings you leads. The reason you're off track, number 2 reason, is you don't have a lead generation system. You do a little bit here, a little bit there. You try Facebook, you call a couple of expireds, but there's no consistency in your prospecting, in your lead generation, true or false. I'm here to tell you, rock stars, that 50% of your money problems will disappear very quickly if you put together a very simple 3 to 4 lead funnels. They don't need to be complicated, they don't need to be expensive, they don't need to kill you working 8 to 12-hour days. None of that is necessary. But you must have a lead generation system in place. That's 50% of your inconsistency, is because you're not consistent the way you're getting business. This was one of the most startling revelations to me when I got into real estate. I always thought, well, the broker will feed me leads. The company will provide leads. I'm not responsible. I'm a salesperson. Have you made the same mistake? Have you been through that? And then you realize, shit, it's all up to me. I need to get out there and hustle. And it's not very comfortable. It's not very fun. And it can be costly. You're going to either put time or effort or money or sometimes all 3 into that. But the reason you're off track and the reason you have these ups and downs, no plan, no lead generation system. Leads number 3. Inconsistent follow-up. Follow-up. You might even get leads here and there, but they get dropped. They fall through the cracks, true or false? Am I right? So, no plan, no lead gen system, inconsistent follow-up, or no system for follow-up. And there may be even, you don't even have a decent CRM. Or you do, you're just not using it very much. Yes? You want to bring more clarity. You want to get on track. You want to stay on track. Fix these first. Fix these first. I'm going to give you 2 more. The reason you're inconsistent is because your emotions run your business. Run business. When you get desperate enough, I remember the days when I was really hungry, and I mean physically hungry, literally hungry. Suddenly the fear of rejection, suddenly the boredom that you sometimes feel, right, on the phone. I'm not saying it's fun. Cold calling, prospecting, and I would avoid it. Avoidance behavior. I would let my emotions, how I felt, control how much money I would make. If your income is inconsistent, if your business is in trouble, if you're off track, you're letting emotions run your business. You're deciding what you're going to do, what you're not going to do, what you're willing to do and not willing to do. You're deciding based on emotions how you feel about it. You want to make a change, I'll help you. But first understand you cannot let emotions, unless they're positive. If the emotions are positive, you're happy, you're passionate, you have good expectations, cool, those are good emotions. But most of the time, how happy, passionate, and excited are you about calling expired listings or following up with leads or following up with open house visitors, especially if it's been like a week after the open house, they have no idea who you are. It's discomfort. Right? Any of this make sense? And there's the final one. I promised you 5. Here's number 5. Wrong mindset. Wrong mindset. That was my biggest one, by the way. Wrong mindset. So I'm going to give you some points to help you with one of these, not one of these, all of these. But identify where's the biggest problem. Mine was the mindset. That was my biggest problem. Because I struggled with, I just felt like I wasn't good enough. Like the other agents were better, they spoke better English, they knew better about the business, they knew more about the business, they deserved the commissions more. I wasn't worthy. I just felt like I'm not worth it. I don't know how to justify $8,000, $10,000 commission. And sure enough, the universe, as it always does, set up conditions and circumstances and events to validate how I felt, to validate that mindset. Can you relate to that? How is your mindset? Do you believe it's going to happen? Do you believe you got what it takes? Do you believe you're good enough? Because if you don't believe you're worth it, if you personally don't believe you're the best thing that happened to the clients, how in the world do you expect to sell them on it? And by sell, I don't mean to sell them, in the traditional way, but how do you expect them to believe in you if you don't? Where is your mindset? How optimistic, positive, excited, passionate, and convinced that you're going to make it are you? Because if you have doubts, if the drunken monkey is constantly pulling you off track, if you're struggling even with some basic prospecting, lead generation, follow-up, there's no magic answer that will all of a sudden make it all go away. Can you identify yourself in one of these or more? And of course, they are related. Bad mindset, of course, triggers the wrong emotions. And if you don't have the right mindset, of course, your follow-up will be inconsistent. And if you don't believe you're worth it, yes, you're not going to spend a lot of time building lead generation system, and more importantly, use it daily, be diligent daily. And if you don't really believe it's going to work, how do you expect to have a plan in place? How do you sit down and map out a strategy if you think that destination, I don't believe it's there. I don't feel like I will ever get there, or I don't deserve to be there. Does that make sense? Birdline. Hey, Borino. New follower and loving the hard truth. Dan Borino says, Leela, this is a tough one. Much needed. It's uncomfortable. It's probably the truth. Definitely appreciate this. Well, I appreciate that comment. And Trisha, you're right. Trisha says it starts with the mindset. It totally does. You're absolutely right. And she also says fear of change. Absolutely. Bad on follow-up. Yes. So now let's troubleshoot it. Let me give you some quick points that will help you troubleshoot these. We're going to start backwards. And the reason we must start backwards, the reason notice how it's all put together is the mindset. This is the foundation. This is the house that's going to stand on, needs to stand on solid mindset. And it's not like overnight you're going to wake up tomorrow morning and says, I'm saved, I'm solved, I'm fixed, I'm healthy, I'm healed. Borino told me those lovely words, tough truth, but I needed to hear it. Now I feel better. It's not going to happen that way, of course. It's a process. But the first and the most important step of that process, friends, is just like when you go to a doctor. When you have a problem, what's the first thing you're going to do? They diagnose it. We need to diagnose where the problem is. And if you think my mindset is off, I have these negative thoughts and I like to complain and I don't believe I'm worthy and I don't believe that the success is mine and there's plenty. I live in a world of scarcity, which is what I did. I always thought there's just not enough business, there are too many agents, there's not enough money. Bullshit. The moment you start shifting the mindset is the moment you're going to start seeing more and more evidence how much there is. The moment you start shifting and you start transitioning into that thing, well, there are other agents making money, there are other agents driving nice cars, selling homes, helping people, more evidence will introduce itself. That was my experience. And it's a funny thing, almost feels like magic. Like suddenly sellers come out of woodwork and it's like, well, that's an interesting coincidence. There's no coincidence. Shift your mindset. I'll give you quick things you need to do to start shifting your mindset. Pay attention to the questions you ask yourself. Because if you keep asking questions like, well, am I cut out for this? Am I good enough for this? Trust me, this little drunken bastard, the drunken monkey, will convince you you're not. Ask better questions. Start asking better questions. One of the best questions you can ask is, what's my next step? You know, that goal, the target we just said, what's my next step towards it? What do I have to do right now? What can I do right now? Where can I find some information, some inspiration, some strength? Because the moment you start asking these questions, more evidence, even from your past, will start showing up to show you and demonstrate that you've got what it takes, you are worthy, and the things you do not know, things where you need to brush up, you can. Because it's all available out there. Read good books. Saturate your mind with good books. Talk to interesting people, people who will uplift you, who will inspire. Be very careful about the negative crowd. Pay attention to the input you put in your head because you can only get out what you're going to put in. My grandfather used to say, you cannot cook a steak if you bring chicken to the kitchen. What you put in is what you're going to get out. If you put good stuff in, you read good things, you listen to good things, from the music to podcasts to books to articles, all that good stuff, you're going to saturate yourself. It's like a mental workout. If you keep doing that, of course it's going to shift. Look for evidence of success in your life, in other lives. Drive through fancy neighborhoods, talk to agents who do well, watch videos of people who are doing well. That all will start shifting your mindset. And more importantly, read good books. There are tons of really good inspirational books. I post my list frequently. There are a lot of good things you can do to shift your mindset. So that's step one. Number two, emotions. If you have to pump yourself up, what's wrong with that? I'd rather pump myself up and be the weird guy in the office that jumps up and down and listens to the music and reads affirmations and looks at the vision board than broke. It is a lot worse to me to be broke, to be a failure, to get out of business, to demonstrate that I didn't have what it took, than to do the things that get me in the state and the mood to be positive, unstoppable, optimistic, powerful. I have a little ritual even before the webinars, before the broadcast, before these live shows. I do this thing to make sure I deliver. And it's really simple. Like I have a little candle that I burn. You know, it's right here. You can see it. Let's see how hot it is. See? I just light up a little candle. It's just kind of good energy. You know, it burns the bad mojo. It's nice energy. I have this little scent I like. I do this. I get in a good state. You got to do the same. Otherwise, if you get on the phone and you put a headset on or you're on the phone and you're like, hi, this is Borino with ABC Real Estate. I noticed your property expired. Do you want to sell it? Nobody's going to talk to you like that. You know what I mean? Get in a good state. Shift your emotions. These two are, of course, connected. Now, step three, your follow-up. Two things you must do. Make sure everybody is in your CRM and make sure you have a CRM. And if you have a CRM, just learn the basics, how to use it. How do I put a lead in? How do I set up a campaign with that lead? How do I follow up with them? How do I update my comments? Done. Later, of course, as the budget allows you to, you're going to hire somebody to do it for you. But you still need to know the basics. Like, of course, now I have staff, we have a company, but our main system that we use, I still need to know how to do some basic stuff with it. Because not always my assistants are available, my staff may not be available, or I need to do something very quickly, or somebody quits on us. There may always be a situation where I need to know the basics. You do too. So get on Lion Desk, or get on Realty Juggler, or get on the 7 million other CRMs that are out there. Just learn the basics. Most of them are very user-friendly. You know, you're going to spend a weekend learning the basics, watch some videos, click around. That's it, done. And then just keep in touch. Think about it this way. Every single person that is either in your database or you just know, either is a potential client or they know somebody. If the US Census Bureau reports that there'll be 12% of Americans, 12% of us will move this year, you're sitting on a lot of potential business. But in order for you to get that business, you need to follow up. So if it's inconsistent, just build some sequences, talk to people. Rock stars. Real estate has always been and always be a people business. You're still worried about Zillow, you're still worried about purple and red bricks and these bricks and all that bullshit. Don't. It's a people business. And if you're good with people, if you connect with people, if you know how to build trust with people, if you know how to communicate with people, you have nothing to worry about. It is a people business. We are not the same industry as the car industry or travel industry. It's different. This is a people business where it's such a complex thing to move, to buy a house and sell a house. There will always be a need for an advisor, for a guide. There will be a need for an expert like you. But in order for you to do that, you need to follow up. Why? Because it builds that relationship. It builds the familiarity. It builds the connection. Next, you don't have a lead generation system. I've been teaching you this stuff for years. Start with high probability leads. That's where the money is right now. It is the easiest, fastest way to get listings right now. High probability leads. So if you don't have these 4 funnels, if you're not generating leads from these 4 funnels, I'm going to give it to you right now, you're leaving money on the table. These are people you should be working daily. This is opportunity you should be getting daily. You with me? Did I lose you guys? Looks like my screen froze here. Bum, bum, bum. I didn't want to lose you because I know this is important. Let me just double check real quick. Are we still on? All right, we're still on. Good. So now, set up these lead generation funnels. 4. I'm going to give you 4 right now. Number 1, new and old expired listings, people who are in the process. For sale by owners, people who are in the process. Open house leads, people who have some curiosity, some desire, something to do that has to do with real estate. Your sphere, work in referrals. You set up these 4, plenty of business. Plenty of business. New and old expired, for sale by owners, referrals, open houses, you're done. That's all you need. Now, if you have the budget, you want to do Facebook advertising, fantastic, do it. You want to do direct mail? Outstanding. Go for it. There are other ways, but don't neglect these core funnels. That can be your bread and butter. That can be the 20, 30 transactions you need. They're out there. There are people out there already raising their hand. I mean, shit, you can go on Zillow, you can get on Craigslist and get leads within seconds for sale by owners you can have a nice conversation with. They're just people. They're going to bite your head off. They're decent human beings if you approach them with respect, authority, but with dignity. Being a decent human being, just having a conversation, it's going to serve you well. Expired, same thing. These are people who have a problem. If they tried once, there's a good chance they may try again. Why not? Está bien? Now you have a system. Now put a simple plan together. Now my recommendation would be to put together a weekly plan. The reason for that is because week is plenty of time to get a lot of shit done. You can get a lot done in 7 days. But it's short enough that if something is not working, if you're off track, if you're not on track in 7 days, you can recover. You don't need to wait weeks and weeks and weeks and months or half a year to recognize, oh shit, we're not on track. Let's fix that. 7 days. Give yourself 7 days. Set specific targets, set specific goals, and then hold yourself accountable to them. That's part of the plan. So, it's 2 parts. You set targets. So targets would be, I will talk to 5 for sale by owners and 5 expired listings this week. Those would be example of targets. And then you're going to set accountability. Accountability to make sure you reach those. We have that. Like on Path, every Monday, we do an accountability call. We report, these are my targets, here are my goals, this is what I want to accomplish in the next 7 days, and then we'll review them. And we do this weekly, so we get in a habit. So get in a habit of planning weekly. And then reviewing it. Is it working? Is it not working? And if it's not working, where's the breakdown? What's not working? What can I correct? Yes? Are we back? Let's see, there's some Facebook. All right, so we are back? Yes? Aisha would like to repeat the last one. The lead generation. Is it the plan or the lead generation? Where do I lose you? New and old expired, FSBO, open house, and your sphere. Work your referrals. Those are your best lead sources, guys. Those are the most profitable, fastest way to convert somebody from a potential prospect into a listing and a client and a commission. By far. By far. Because any other lead generation, there are others and they're profitable, they're fine, but they usually require quite a bit of follow-up, quite a bit of keeping in touch, which means other agents will be trying to get that listing. You have a higher risk that somebody else is going to snag it. It's going to take a long time. Where with these four, you can be in a business quickly. I had some expired listings I was able to list within days. There are not that many sources where you can do that, okay? So lead sources. I'll put them here on the board for you. So you got expireds for sell by owners. That includes new and old expireds. Open house leads, good open house, and sphere. That's all you need. That's all you need. Now, here's the thing. Please do not be the jack of all trades and master of none. Master these. Master these. Become good at those. Doesn't require super special talents or superpowers. We finally went to see Avengers. It was pretty cool. These guys have a lot of superpowers. The good news is you don't need those. It's not necessary. In order for you to master expireds and master for sale by owners, they have few things in common. One, communication. How you communicate on the phone, in person, through texting, has a huge impact. Are you optimistic, passionate, pleasant, respectful, but confident? That makes a huge difference. Are you helpful? Makes a huge difference. Are you consistent? Makes a huge difference. And then you support it with the system. So that means I generate these leads, I have a conversation with these folks. Most of them will tell me something like, we're not ready, don't know what we're going to do, we're going to go back to our old agent, all that stuff. Doesn't mean much. I'm going to put them in my CRM and keep in touch. Because I know that statistically, many of them will list. Why not with me? If I have the right mindset, that I can take care of my clients, I'm a good agent, I know how to help people. I don't let emotions run my business like fear. They're not going to list with me. And what if I lose them? What if they change their mind? And all that stuff. I have a good CRM setup. That's a winning formula right there, friends. To fix your income, have these 5 things in place. Then let me help you. I have systems for it. I have resources. I have classes. I have all that for you. We're starting a FSBO boot camp on Thursday. That's going to be a lot of fun. Are you in? If you're not, you should be. All right? Is that helpful? All right. What is written here? Expired for sold by owners, open houses, sphere. Did you get that? And then here, your plan needs to have targets, specific weekly targets, and then accountability. How do you know that you're on track or off track? How do you know whether you're on track or off track? Looks like Facebook is screwing us up a little. Slightly hiccup, right? I'm going to post a replay because we're recording on our side as well. All right, guys, this is what I wanted to share with you. A little bit of a wake-up call where your business is and where it needs to be. So roll up your sleeves, get yourself a cup of coffee. You can do this very quickly to evaluate what do I need to do in these 5 areas to make sure my business is not doing this, but is going exactly where I need it to go. What do I need to do as far as planning? What are my weekly targets and accountability? What do I do as far as my lead generation system? I mean, if for the last 3-4 months you've been trying a lead generation system and it's inconsistent, it's not producing good results, good solid leads, motivated leads, seller leads, it's time to either fix the damn thing or drop it. But I'm telling you, do the high probability leads. This will never let you down. New and old expireds, FSBOs, open house, and sphere. Because statistics, numbers don't lie. Make sure you set up a CRM, something basic, Lion Desk, Realty Juggler, or whatever you feel comfortable with. Get rid of the emotions so they don't screw you up. And watch your mindset. That's the secret, my friends. Helpful? All right. Sorry about the technical issues. Not really sure what's going on with our friends on Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg, can you please fix it? Thank you, buddy. Really appreciate it. All right, guys. Coach Borino signing off. I'll talk to you real soon. Let's go get him. Bye, everybody.